Alright, let's start this stretch with our feet together and just take a nice deep breath in, reaching those arms over your head, and then diving forward to touch your toes or the floor or just holding onto your legs. Make sure that you focus on your breathing here, taking nice deep inhales and exhales, and that will help relax your muscles. Because I know, especially for myself, sometimes I tend to grip my muscles while I'm trying to stretch. Not intentionally, but it just happens because stretching is uncomfortable. So make sure that you breathe. And with that, let's come all the way back up, rolling through that spine from the top of the head. And we're going to repeat that again. So big reach above your head, diving forward nice and long. And here I want you to just hang, feeling that head and that neck be nice and heavy. And as you could tell by the title, this stretch is going to be focused on positive vibes. So we'll talk about some positive mindset tips in a second, but let's walk our feet out so that they're just a little bit further than hip distance apart. And continue to hang on there. And I want you to think about something good that has happened in your life recently, no matter how small it might have been. And then take a plie or bend in your knees and hold that bent position for a second, and then straighten. As you straighten, see if you can pull your body just a little bit closer to those legs. And then we're going to do that again. We're going to take a little plie in the legs and straighten. I'm going to walk my feet just a little bit further out now and continue to hang down. If you want to sort of shift your hips side to side, whatever feels good to you, you can do that. I think we forget how many good things are actually happening in our lives. We tend to focus on the negative. That's just how we are as humans. Let's reach over to one leg. So go ahead and go over to your right side, keeping your feet exactly as they are facing forward, but just grabbing on to the right side of your body. I think for me, I noticed a big shift in my life when I started to focus on the positive and not so much on the negative. In this position, you can take a plie with that back leg or your left leg, and then straighten. See if you can pull yourself a bit closer. And now let's switch to the other side, so your left. Yeah, I think once you start focusing on the good things that are happening, you tune out the negative things naturally, and life just starts to get a lot better. And I know it's easier said than done, but your whole world will change when you start focusing on the good things. Let's bend that right leg and straighten. And then now I want you to turn all the way over toward your left leg. So now you can pivot your other foot, and I'm in this triangle position here. You can choose to grab your ankle, or you can go all the way down to the floor. And once again, I'm letting my head rest nice and heavy, focusing on my breathing here. Trying to pull myself closer to my leg while keeping length in my spine. And I'm going to bend my back leg or my right leg and straighten. And again, bend that back leg and straighten. Good. See if you can come a little closer and flex that front foot, flex your left foot. And lower those toes back down to the floor. Try and get even closer if you can, and releve your back foot. So you're going to pick up the heel of that back leg and lower it back down. You should be a little bit deeper into the stretch now, and we're going to flip over to the other leg. Same thing on the other side. So one thing is, once you start being a little bit more positive, if you have too much negative energy in your life, whether that be from your loved ones or your friends or just people you know at work or school, it's going to be hard. They're going to push back on you for trying to be positive, and you just have to stay focused on what you want, which is to be happy, right? Let's bend that back leg. And unfortunately, it might mean that you have to cut some people out of your life. Straighten that back leg. But you choose the energy that you want to invite into your life. I know sometimes that's easier said than done, and in some situations you can't avoid it. Let's bend that back leg again. Like if you live with people who are negative, or you always have to see people who are negative, then at that point you just kind of have to tune them out. Let's flex the front foot. You can let them say what they want to say to you, but you have to keep focused in your own mind about what it is you want. And it's really hard, but it's a muscle that you can build. All right, let's releve the back leg now. So pick up that back heel. I really have been into that phrase lately, that you choose the energy that you bring into your life, because it's really so true. Like, you can choose to accept the negativity, or you can just let it flow past you. Let's drop it down into a runner's lunge now, making sure that that front leg is at a 90-degree angle, so you're making this shape of an L. The back leg is nice and straight and long, and you feel energy through that leg. And drop the knee down. Put both hands up on your front knee, and to feel this stretch a little bit deeper, you can squeeze your glute muscles or your booty muscles and lean forward just a little bit. And I'm going to turn out my front foot and drop all the way down to my elbows. You can also squeeze your glute muscles here and you'll feel it deeper. And now I'm going to reach back behind me and grab my foot to stretch out my quad and my hip flexor. Just a little bit longer here, and then we're going to drop it back down, hanging out in our lunge for just a few more seconds. And now I want you to straighten the front leg. Keep your spine nice and long, but try and pull yourself closer to that leg. I'm going to let my head rest on my shin, try and pull myself that way. And I'm going to slowly start coming back up here. And I'm going to sink all the way back down onto my back leg. Same principles here. Long spine, really straight leg in front. Trying to reach as close as I can. So I had you think of one positive thing at the beginning of the stretch. And now that we're halfway-ish through, let's think of something else that's happened that's been good in your life, or something that you are grateful for. And as you think about that, pop it back into a runner's lunge. Straighten your legs up, twist to the other side, and we're going to repeat that process on our left. So runner's lunge first. Knee is not going over the toes in the front. Back leg's nice and straight. We're going to drop it down time to think about something good in our lives. And put both of your hands on your front knee. That's another practice that you might want to incorporate into your day-to-day life, is just practicing more gratitude. I'm going to turn out my front foot and drop down to my elbows here. I know a lot of people like to do lists in the morning of like 3 things they're grateful for, or at night. You can definitely do that. It really does help, but the more specific that you are about the thing that you're grateful for, the better. So instead of just saying, I'm grateful for my family, maybe something specific about your family that they've done for you that you're grateful for. Let's reach back and grab that back leg. And you can release that back leg now. Slowly, we're going to come back into straightening our front leg, keeping that back leg bent. I think stretching is a really good time to just reflect on your day, on life in general. It can be sort of a form of meditation if you allow it to be, because maybe not all of us have time to do some kind of meditation practice every day, but this could take the place of it. Keep on reaching forward over that leg. I also just enjoy that stretching is sort of just a form of stillness. We get so busy in our day-to-day lives, it's not often that we just kind of sit with our thoughts. So let's sink all the way back onto that back leg now. Straighten that front leg. Make sure that you're breathing. This is a good time to check in on your breath. Do whatever feels good to you, but we're going to slowly come back to our straightened little, I don't know what this is called, triangle pose. It's not really a triangle. And turn over to the center, those legs nice and wide still, and just sink down into the floor, really opening up the hamstrings now. They should be pretty warm and flexible at this point, so I'm going to rest my forearms on the ground. And from here, I'm going to slowly come down into my straddle. I've heard some people call this a pancake when you reach forward in this pose, so I don't know what you call this, but let's reach over nice and long to one side. I'm going to go to the left side first. Lots of energy through those arms, stretching out the side of the body. I'm going to drop down and face my leg, trying to get my nose to my knee. Just holding there. Check in with your breath. And now you can reach toward the inside of your leg. So I'm not coming center, I'm kind of going diagonal. Trying as hard as you can to keep those knees facing up toward the ceiling. And now circling all the way around to come back up. We're going to go to the other side. A nice big long reach. And face your leg, nose to knee. It's actually interesting that I've become such a positive person, because I do feel like a few years back, like when I was in high school, before then, I tended to have a lot of negative thoughts. Let's reach toward the diagonal now. I kind of just always saw the negative side of things, and I never looked on the bright side. I just kind of went through my life thinking that the world was out to get me. And I've made such a big shift over the past few years. Let's now walk our hands toward the center, reaching forward. And I don't really know what spurred that change, but I think it was just little things. I really don't think it definitely didn't happen overnight. But one thing I started doing is waking up a little bit early in the morning, writing in my journal every day. And I think that really helped me realize that some of these negative thoughts that I had were just honestly very dumb. Like it's okay to just write them out and get them out of your brain. But once you see them on paper like that, you realize how silly it is to be complaining about the things that you complain about. I think most of you, if you're watching this, you have access to the internet. You probably have a phone or a computer, some kind of device. And that's a lot more than a lot of people in the world have. And sometimes it takes a little bit of a shift in perspective to remember that our problems are really so small and they're all kind of made up, and that you can choose to see them as a problem or just a little challenge that you're going to overcome. And shake out your legs now. Shoot them straight in front of you. I'm going to roll out my ankles for a second, and then let's get into this little pretzel position. It's a very professional name there. And I'm just going to twist to one side, so twisting to my left. So my knees are stacked over each other. And then I'm going to twist to the other side. Spine is really nice and long. Neck is long. And from here, I'm going to reach forward. And I know this position can be strangely very difficult for some people. You should feel a stretch in your glutes. But if you need to modify the way your legs are in order to feel the stretch, go ahead and do so. It really just depends on your own anatomy and the way your hips are structured, basically. Okay, let's come back up and switch those legs. Pretzel it out on the other side. Nice twist. You want to kind of roll your head at the same time you can, and twist to the other side. Okay, and then we're going to reach forward. When I filmed this, it was very early in the morning, right after I had done a workout, so it felt very good to stretch after. Releasing out of that position now, you can uncross your legs. We're going to go into a tabletop on our hands and knees and shoot one arm through to stretch out the side of our body and our upper back. You may need to move your arm around a little bit in order to feel the stretch. Okay, coming back up, go ahead and thread the other arm through. As you do this, try and keep your spine long, keep everything really long, and make just tiny adjustments to see where the stretch feels best for you. Okay, coming back up now. Let's do some cat-cows. So really sinking that tailbone down to the floor and then looking up to the sky, alternating between the arched back positions. And you can come to a neutral position, push it up into a downward dog, making sure that you have energy through your palms and through your legs. I'm going to bring one leg up into the sky, my right leg, reach it through, bend it over, and sit into a pigeon pose. So my back leg is nice and straight. I'm trying to get my hips closer to the floor here, making little micro adjustments to make this stretch suitable for me. I'm all the way down on my elbows right now, but you don't have to be. Whatever feels good to you. And slowly I'm coming back up. Go ahead and untuck out of that position and just find your way back to a downward facing dog. Stretching out those legs and then reaching the other leg up to the sky, pulling it forward towards your chest, and then dropping it into pigeon. I sometimes have to actually grab my foot and move it because my muscles won't do it for me, especially after a workout like I did. But again, make sure that you're not clenching your muscles. This one tends to be one where I find it hard to relax, and it's easier for me to relax if I drop down to my elbows. So find what works for you. I had you think of 2 things that you are grateful for or that were positive. Let's go ahead and finish it out by thinking of one more thing. What is something good that has happened to you recently? And relaxing out of that. Okay, from here we're going to go into our splits, and if you don't have your splits and you want to use some yoga blocks to help you, I'm going to show how you might do that. So you can place them under your hands and use them to support you. Depending on how far up you are, you might want to flip them vertically, and just keeping both legs straight, slowly working your way into the split till eventually you can drop all the way down. But if you don't need them, obviously don't use them. Or you can just hold yourself up with your hands. If you have your splits already, think of reaching those legs nice and long and making sure that they are indeed in a squared off split. So it is okay to turn out your back leg and your front leg a little bit, but make sure that you're not opened out to the side, that your hips generally should still face forward. And you can reach over that leg if you want a deeper stretch. You can also test out flexing the front foot. And coming back up, let's switch over to the other side. Once again, if you want to use the blocks, you can. I really do think this is the best way to get into your splits though, if you don't have them already, because it teaches you the right placement. reaching those legs nice and long. And now I want to invite you to think not of something you're grateful for or something positive that has happened, but something that you are looking forward to in the near future, whether it's today, tomorrow, later this week, later this month even. What do you have that you're excited about, that sparks joy? And let's do a quick little arm stretch. I had to turn around, but go ahead and pull your right arm up behind you. Just stretch that tricep muscle and then switch it over to the other arm. Good. Now if you want to try and grab your fingers, lace them together if you can. I remember this was a test for PE for school when I was younger. It is a pretty intense stretch for the front of your chest and your arms. And then switch to the other side. A lot of times we neglect to stretch our arms and our chest, so I wanted to make sure that I threw these in here for us. And I'm just gonna face you guys again so you can see, but grab one arm and bring it across. And switch it, stretch the other arm across. I hope that you guys feel a little bit more positive, a little bit uplifted, or at least you feel stretched out from this. You can roll your head side to side or move it around as you need to, sort of wake up that neck. And I'm really proud of you if you've made it this far through the stretch, and I want to thank you for joining me. I love doing these, and you guys seem to love watching them, so let me know what other kind of themes or topics you'd like to see in the future. If you haven't already, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Have a great rest of your day. Bye!